Good morning. My name is Fekri, and today I will be giving a brief presentation about my internship at Jacinto Conway Organization, or JCW for short. Just to give you a brief overview of the organization, the JCW is a US nonprofit and a non-governmental organization that was founded in 2014. Can you still see the screen? Because I got the notification.
Yes, I can see.
Okay, perfect. Sorry. So it was founded in 2014, and it supports vital areas of the public health, such as cancer, infectious diseases, and HIV in developing countries for vulnerable patients. The JCW has three focal points, which is research and diagnostic of illnesses, as well as training new professions via three high-impact programs. Firstly, there is the cancer immunotherapy, then there is the molecular diagnostic, and then there is the internship. JCWO aims to make immunotherapies available to patients who do not have access to new innovatives. And then also the JCW leads a molecular diagnostic program that provides a free cost, early and specific diagnostic for patients that are affected by various types of cancer and HIV in poor developing countries. And lastly, the JCWO also provides undergraduates, postgraduates, and doctorate students from all over the globe with internship, which I was lucky enough to be part of. Then moving on to the internship overview, I want to give you an overview of what my internship constituted of first. So my internship lasted for 5 months. It was conducted online. My supervisor was Jasmire. We would have almost weekly online meetings on Teams where Jasmire would explain to me what my activity for the week was, and I was given a week to complete the activity. I had 4 different activities from different ranges. They started as being easy and they become more challenging as weeks went by. And they ranged from writing articles to researching to more practical activities, which I will explain what each activity was and what I learned from each activity in a moment. So my first activity was drafting a guide for the benefits of pro bono work as a corporate donor to JCWO. This was actually my first time researching about the benefits of pro bono as a corporate donor to NGOs. This was a bit challenging as I had no idea what a pro bono benefits were, but once I started researching, it all became easy and clear. And during this activity, I also needed to research about the IRS and the IRS laws governing the NGOs, to be specific. So, because I needed to talk about the tax exemptions for NGOs. I am a law student, so biasedly, I'm gonna say that this was my favorite part of the activity. But other than that, it was also interesting for me because it was the first time I had to research or read about USA's legislation. Before this, I knew nothing about USA's legislation, so it was amazing. Now I can say I have memorized some of the legislation. Then my second activity was finding CAP companies that provided pro bono services for tax filing. I think this was one of the most challenging activities for me because I had no idea what a CAP company were or how to find relevant information regarding if they provided pro bono services or not. This activity required the most research for me. First, I had to ask a friend who majored in business what CAP companies were, and then I had to ask Jesmeyer for extra help about how to know if these CAP companies provide pro bono services or not. Then I had to email some companies, and some companies just mentioned on their website. After I understood the objective of this assignment, it became extremely fun for me because it was more practical than the prior activities. And I think I managed to find almost 20 or 25 companies. I think this activity throughout my internship program was the most practical one, and it's the one that taught me the most because it required hours of free research and it basically got me into the field. Then moving on to my third activity. My third activity was writing an article with the title Fundraising for Non-Governmental Organization. This topic was assigned to me by Jesmire herself. It was good, it was informative, it wasn't as challenging as the previous one for me because writing is something I've been doing for the past 3 years in law school, and I think I've mastered it. So for this assignment, I would send my drafts to Jesmire and she would reply back with feedback and comments, and I would edit them and then I would send it back to her. I think overall, this was really informative for me because I had to do some research and I had to write something for an actual press room, which is a really big thing. Then moving on to my fourth and last activity. My fourth activity was writing an article with the title The Impact of American NGOs in American Communities and Developing Countries. Jesmire asked me to come up with few topics for my second article, and after coming up with like 7 articles, we both agreed on this topic. I think I preferred this article over my previous one because it was more engaging, and I had to structure it myself, and it required more research, and I had to include some legislation because it was my own topic, so I could like structure it in my own way. But I think both of these articles was a great opportunity to write something legitimate and informative. All 4 activities were designed in a way that made me research about the impact JCW had on this field. I mean, indirectly, these topics weren't about JCWO itself, but it indirectly gave me a way to research about the JCW and the impact it has in this field, or what the legislation or the laws is affected by JCWO. Moving on to my reflection, I think overall these activities were a great opportunity, not just for me as a law student, but for anyone who has had the opportunity to do an internship with JCWO, because the internships are designed in a way that makes you research and understand how the organization operates or what it stands for. Even if you haven't done any research or you don't know much about the organization, you will understand so much of it by just doing the activities itself. Moreover, the activities were designed in a way that it doesn't matter what you study or what you work, you can always find ways to relate the activities back to what you're studying or what you're working as. For example, I'm doing law, so I had to search about IRS and the California laws governing NGOs. So this was really interesting for me. This was a big opportunity for me because I have only studied UK law and I had no idea about the USA jurisdiction. I also plan on doing the New York bar exam after I graduate this year. So this was a great start for me because it familiarized me with some aspects of USA law. I also plan on pursuing my career in human rights, IGOs or NGOs. So this was the most perfect first internship I could have ever had, as it laid out a background for my future career. Thanks to this internship, I am 100% sure I want to pursue a career related to NGOs or IGOs. And during the internship itself, you learn so much about different things and you find new things that interest you. For example, after I was done writing my second article for the JCWO press room, I contacted my lecturer and I asked her if I asked her how I can publish my own paper in a journal article company, and she explained it to me. And other than that, JCWO activities makes you go more than what you were studying for. It makes you go and search about science, about biology. It teaches you new things in a way. So these activities made me find new interests. It taught me new things, and I think it was a good exchange from doing all law in my university and then coming to a field which is more practical and it teaches you stuff outside your university. For example, JCWO taught me so much about cancer, immunotherapy. I know how cancer works now thanks to JCWO. I've gone through some of the press room articles and I've read them and it's really informative. So I think overall my internship experience has been really rewarding and has taught me so much. It has definitely set a path for my future career and has put me one step closer to understanding the USA law and 1,000 steps closer to understanding how NGOs operate and facilitate. Then moving to my last slide, in terms of recommendations, I don't think I have much to say. I think overall it was perfect. It was a perfect opportunity and everything was perfect. Jasmaya was the greatest guide. She was always there to answer my concerns and she would reply back with lots of information. I think the flexibility of this program is one of the best things about this program because as you all know, some university can give you so much work to do and there are days where you don't have the time to do anything. But with this program there are some weeks where you have to do so much and there are weeks where you don't have to do anything, which gives you a great flexibility to focus on your university work and your internship work. I mean, if I have to recommend one thing though, I would say that everything was perfect. But if I do have to say, I think although the quantity of these activities was not a weekly thing, the quality was great. Every activity was designed in the best possible way, and sometimes it did take me like a week or two to finish one activity. So as I said, it gives you time to worry about other stuff too. But I think it would be better if we did have more activities, like if activities were a weekly thing or if we had a schedule prior hand. Like if we had nothing to do in that week, it would be nicer to have a schedule that said that this week we are free. But that's the only thing I have to say because everything else was perfect. I want to thank JCWO, especially Jez Meyer, for giving me this amazing opportunity to do my internship with you guys, and I have learned so much, and I will be carrying whatever I have learned in my future career. Thank you.